Hey, what's going on? What's going on? CoinOpTV subscribers, Robert Welkner here. We've got a big show ahead of you here. We had the Apple press conference, September 2016's press conference, go down earlier today, and we want to talk about, a little bit of a recap of what went down. I got my man Dan, who's going to help me out with some of the bullet points. Good to see you, Dan, aka Disney Dan. How are you?
What's going on, folks? What's going on? I'm here. I'm prepared. I've got my iPhone. I got my Apple Watch. I'm on my Mac. I got my iPad back here in the corner. So I'm ready and revved up to talk about some Apple stuff. So let's drop it, Rob. Let's make it
Apple
happen.
Goodness. Now I'm on my Apple laptop, MacBook Pro. I've got an iPhone. I have a third generation iPad. I don't have an Apple Watch. Trying to think if I have anything else Apple related.
Apple TV. You got an Apple TV?
Oh yes, that's good call. Apple TV as well. Yes. So looking forward to some Apple love. Let's give a quick shout out. Liam, Ramir, Angel, Disney Dan is in chat as the moderator, so best behave. Edwards, Sanchez in chat, Skylander King, and a bunch of more people. So it's live and interactive. Might be a little bumpy, might be a little bruisey. If we hit a hiccup along the way, we'll try and fix it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. So of course the Apple press conference keynote went down. We had all the major players on there. Everybody seemed to have a light blue, not like a dark blue sort of t-shirt. I was almost thinking, Dan, maybe you and I should get. Well, you've got a blue t-shirt on there.
Got a little bit going on there. Yep.
Yeah, that was
everyone.
Thing.
They expect to see them all wearing that soon in every Apple store, right?
Yes, the blue. It kind of reminded me of like Best Buy employees or something. It was a little darker. So the show started off with Carpool Karaoke, one of my favorite shows to watch on YouTube. I never watched James Corden on whatever he's on, NBC, CBS, ABC, no idea. But heck, I would love Carpool Karaoke on YouTube. Dan, is that a show that you watch?
Boy, James Corden has taken over as our favorite person in the favorite late night host for my wife. My wife used to be a mega Jimmy Fallon fan, and James Corden has slid right in and taken over my wife's heart. So I personally am still Team Coco. I just, Conan O'Brien is still my main man, but James Corden is a close second now. Some of his bits are just too great. I really, really enjoy him. Came from the stage, came from the theater like me, so he's got a special place in my heart. So yeah, I definitely dig James Corden. So it was great to see him, queuing off the top of the show with Carpool Karaoke.
Yeah, and it was funny. He sort of teased. So I had Tim Cook in the car with him from Apple, and I sort of teased him. He's like, "Well, I know all the announcements from the leaks and things like that on Twitter and the internet." And then, sure enough, Apple themselves tweeted their own leak, on Twitter, sort of showing the Apple iPhone 7 like sizzle video. Did you notice that, Dan? That they
I picked that up. That they kind of dropped the the video and like images and like pre-order now, like as the thing went live, and for you can't act like for an hour and a half long press conference no one's going to look at Twitter. You know what I mean? So I guess that was everyone at Apple was too busy focusing on the actual event to realize somebody tweeted it too early, I guess.
Yeah,
I would love to meet the guy who's like in charge of Apple's Twitter. You know what I mean? That's got to be a pretty important role there.
Yeah, and the funny thing is they don't really tweet much. I mean, they've sort of been on Twitter, but I don't think they've really tweeted. I think this was going to be their big debut today, and I don't know. Maybe they thought that was a tweet scheduler button or something like that. But yeah, here's a screenshot of some of the people that say, "Whoops, Apple scooped themselves" and stuff like that. Well, speaking of scoops and events, we'll give a quick sort of rundown some of our reactions. We're not going to go over everything specific, just kind of some of the bullet points and everything. So the big show stealer, maybe outside of the iPhone 7 sort of reveal. Of course, we all knew a lot of things about the iPhone 7 reveal, but it was some of the video games like Super Mario Brothers and Pokemon Go. So Miyamoto from Nintendo came out to sort of announce or reveal Super Mario Run coming to the iOS, the iPhone, and the iPad, which is a side-scrolling runner. You tap the screen to get Mario to jump sort of looked like the gameplay was similar to like Super Mario Brothers on like the 3DS or something. Dan, are you a Super Mario Brothers aficionado?
Of course. We are a big, the only reason I continue to purchase new Nintendo platforms, quite honestly, is to get my Mario, my Zelda, and my Metroid fix. I mean, it's pretty much the only reason why I continue to purchase, any kind of Nintendo game console. So yes, big fans, and I'm super excited for that, that vintage, the remastered NES that they're releasing here soon with all the games pre-installed on it. It's like the size of like the palm of my hand. So and so seeing that, Nintendo is really, they're continuing to evolve, and they are tapping into a market that I don't think that they have left, open for way too long. And so now the fact that they're, kind of jumping into the iPhone, the mobile market with like, Pokemon Go, and now with these Mario games, amazing. It's so smart. So smart for them to do.
Yeah, that's a good point to make, was how resistant Nintendo was to get on sort of the iPhone, the Android, the mobile market. They sort of, finally got in there with Pokemon Go, but now with Mario, now we've got a real first party, kind of title there. Let's see, I got some screenshots here. So it looks like it looks like a side-scrolling runner. You tap the screen and you sort of jump over obstacles. And then they also said there's battle mode, which is based on coin collecting and has a timer.
Yep.
And this is supposed to be holiday 2016 release with a single price. I don't remember them actually giving the price. What do you think? You think they're going to go like $4.99, $9.99?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the kind of thing. If it's going to be lasting content that they're going to continue to update, or either that, or it's going to be another freemium game. You know what I mean? Where you buy lives to do this or to do that. So it'll be interesting to see their pricing structure. I know that from the perspective of me as a parent, I would be more likely to purchase the game if it was $4 or $5 and I just got the game with all the levels and the updates, and then my kid could play it and not have to worry about lives or this and that. But we'll have to see, because you can kind of get away with the freemium with the Pokemon Go, because you get kids out there running around and stuff like that. But the freemium for Mario, I don't know if it'll work. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. I'm excited to sort of check it out. I mean, runner games don't really do a whole lot for me. I know that Dan does a lot of Crossy Road stuff. Does this tap into like the same vibe? I know Crossy Road is kind of turn-based-ish or something, and not a consistent runner.
It's a Frogger kind of thing. So you just keep going as far as you can until you get squashed. So similar to most of these runner games. So yeah, in that respect. And I believe that the regular Crossy Road has a lot of actually does have some like online play where you can compete with friends and that kind of stuff. So it makes a ton of fun. So I'm looking forward to them introducing that into Disney Crossy Road. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited to see it happen.
Yes, exciting times ahead. Let's see, I'm looking over at my notes here. A lot of things I wrote down in the Apple press conference from today. So Tim Cook also talked about the importance of coding, education, iWork, and being involved in the school system. And Susan, one of the developers, came out and talked about real-time collaboration and talked about that. Is that something, Dan, you in your workplace that you might collaborate with your coworkers?
Yeah, I think it's something that I most certainly will use in the workplace. As you can see, I'm in my office, right now, and so yeah, it's definitely something. I was impressed to see that, and for especially for being married to an educator, I can see the value of all of that. So very, very cool.
So let's move on to the Apple Watch. The smartwatch, we had a lot of time spent on the Apple Watch. Tim talked about the sales numbers and how it was the most popular smartwatch out there. And he was talking about how they set the bar on the modern watch. Now, do you have your smartwatch on you there, your Apple Watch on you? There sure you do. Go, the red band. Yep. Looking very
wearing
sleek.
It. Yeah, I got a couple different band colors. But yeah, I'm a big fan of I was given it as a gift from the company, and I did not think that I would use it, to be entirely honest with you. I had no plans or intentions on purchasing it for myself, because I'm not a watch wearer. I enjoyed having my Fitbit, my wife and I would compete to see who could get more steps. But I will say that now I feel naked if I'm not wearing this thing. I have become very much I'm not dependent on it, because if I don't have it, it's not the end of the world. But I'm now the person who will look at his wrist to see what time it is. I use it invaluably to answer messages, to answer my phone, to operate my the music, for the cartwheel app at Target. Like, I use it a lot, a whole lot, a lot more than I ever thought I would possibly use it. So I dig it. I really, really like it. And a lot of people are very hesitant about the price point, $300 for a watch. Well, Apple Watch 2 is coming out now, so the Apple Watch first generation is going to get real cheap, real fast. And on top of that, I always tell people, just go to Best Buy and check out their open box section, because there's inevitably an open box Apple Watch very close by to you for under $300. I would be willing to bet. That is really, they're a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy it, and it's very resilient. I have the Sport, so it's a lot lighter. I wouldn't be able to handle the regular watch because that stainless steel is super heavy, but this aluminum is very, very light, and I love it. I think I've beat it up. It's got a couple scratches and dings now, but that's like after I've smacked it into some brick walls and hit a couple door jams and, fallen on it once or twice. It's really taken a ton of abuse and is holding up beautifully. So, and plus I've got my Mickey Mouse on there.
Oh, there you go.
Got my Mickey Mouse face. So
you can't call yourself Disney Dan unless you have some,
gotta have Mickey Mouse on my watch.
Disney goodness there. So then we'll get back. So with the Apple Watch, that this sort of talked about some of the bullet points, but the big one that I think kind of was a surprise, or was the crowd kind of was like ooh and ah, was Pokemon Go coming to the Apple Watch. There's my graphics. So the Niantic developers came out on stage and talked about the popularity of the Pokemon Go app. And this is supposed to come out before the end of 2016. They didn't give a specific date, but they demonstrated sort of using the egg hatching ability and the notifications. Then the guy hatched a Pikachu, of course, on stage. Dan, do you have a Pikachu in your collection?
I think I do. I have one or two Pikachus in my collection, in my Pokemon Go collection.
Pokemon deck.
It was very, very cool to see. I think it's a little too late, but hopefully they'll implement it like when they introduce the next 150 or 100 or so Pokemon, which will kind of like maybe revive it with a bunch of, because they keep adding features and features and features, but they're big. I think one of their stupidest mistakes they ever made was those like Pokemon Go pins. You see those, Rob? Like those like Pokemon Pro things that you could wear on your lapel or your hip or something, and it would like count all your steps and stuff. You know that extra thing I'm talking about?
Like a little add-on thing or something?
Yeah, it's like an add-on thing. It was like $100 or something like that. Their biggest mistake was not having those in the store and available when the Pokemon craze hit, and they're still not available. They're still not in the store available.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't even think what you were talking about was even out yet in the stores.
No, it's still not. It's still not out. If it was out 2 months ago in the store, they would have sold millions of them. But so I think that this is really great that now I can use my watch, and I hope that other big developers take note of integrating the watch into the gameplay thing, because I really like that a lot. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's very, very cool that they did that whole they integrated it into some new features.
Yeah, in a way, it sort of cancels out, buying because if you're going to spend, $100 or whatever on that little pin thing, why not just get an Apple Watch there? Maybe that was their reasoning. They just want to sort of raise the price, raise the bar a little higher.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, but I'm pretty excited to see it coming, to the Apple Watch. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, it was interesting to see right out of the gate, two video games or properties kind of stealing the show. I know on Twitter there are people sort of saying, hey, Pokemon and Mario, who forget about the iPhone. We're excited about those things, so it's interesting to see. I got some more people jumping in chat. Toy Movie Game Bros, Henry, Skylander King says, nice to meet you, Mr. Disney Dan. He must know that you're a moderator. That's why he's being under good behavior.
Hey,
right?
Skylander King.
So we got into the Apple Watch 2, so the Pokemon, the Mario, and those things, that was sort of Apple Watch 1-ish goodness, and then it was like, oh, now we're going to talk about the Apple Watch 2. They talked about it being swim-proof, waterproof, up to 50 meters. It was talking about how the speaker ejects the water, from the
which was I've got to say is pretty cool. I do have to say that is kind of cool. But if I had a nickel for every time I caught myself at the very last minute getting in the shower or or about to wash the dishes or something like that with my watch on my wrist, or playing with my daughter out in the backyard and like in her pool or something like that. So that alone, the whole waterproof theme that they kind of went with these new upgrades is very impressive to me, because it's, the water damage is a big thing with phones and mobile electronic devices. So very thrilled that they took that and kind of owned it and then changed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely seems like a plus to, whatever you can do to mimic what real watches already do, and then add on to that is sort of a bonus. You don't want to sort of say like, well, my real watch is waterproof, but my Apple Watch isn't, so you want to make sure
exactly
expand upon that. So they talked about some of the different apps come in. We've got View Ranger, which is if you want to go hiking. It's got so now the Apple Watch 2 will have sort of integrated GPS and other things built into it, so you actually don't need your phone if you want to have some like GPS loving and you want to go use View Ranger to go hiking, and you see like map and highlights and
well, I think it's important to note, and I know you don't have one, so I know that's not something that they but you need to have an iPhone to use an Apple Watch. They don't work independently of each other and any of their features. So all these apps you're seeing are companion pieces. But what's nice, what they're doing with the Apple Watch is now being like, okay, here's not just notifications. Here, you can use your watch to actually like interact with the app and not just like press a button to do this or press a button to do that. Now you can actually like use the phone, use the watch instead of it just being here's a notification. It's like now you can actually use the apps. So I'm thrilled that they're starting to implement that.
Yes. It's I don't have an iWatch or Apple Watch. It's not. I gotta be careful to not say the iWatch or Apple Watch there. But yeah, that was one of the things was sort of tethered to the phone. But now you can be free of that if you want to go hiking without your phone. Although if I'm going hiking, I kind of want my phone anyway with me in case something bad happens. But
in case you have to fight a bear or something like that.
But so yeah, they introduced View Ranger. I see Angel in chat is just saying the word Skylander over and over again. Of course, you guys know I'm a Portamaster and I love Skylanders. We're talking about some Apple here, so let's see if you have any questions or concerns about the Apple event. iPad, iPhone, iTouch, Apple TV, eyewear. Is there an eyewear at all? Is there eyeglasses? Is that a thing, Dan?
You're wearing eyeglasses, yes.
There you go. Because he's sharp. Disney Dan don't sleep on the the fun times. All right, let me look over my notes here. So then Nike. So they rolled out this dude from Nike, and he talked about their little Apple Watch 2 and how it was going to be slick and cool and smooth, and it was the iWatches or Apple Watches are most popular with runners and. Now they've got this branded one. Let's see. Nike rep claims that your running partner. This will be $369 for the Apple Watch 2, and then $269 for Series 1. I'm just looking over my notes. Is that something, Dan, that appeals to you? Getting the Nike version there, the cool.
Well, I am not much of a runner, Rob, as you can tell if I were to stand up. So I'm not hugely impressed by this, but I think that the value is there for the people that will use it. I will say that much.
Yeah, it's got a nice design. Looks like something sporty kind of look to it there. So so that's kind of cool. All right, let's move on. We talked about the iWatch long enough. The Apple Watch. They also discussed the iOS 10 is on the horizon. That's coming with updates to Siri, Maps, home management, which actually seemed kind of cool. Where they talked about or they introduced Apple HomeKit integration, where you kind of control your lights and your security, and like whenever you buy products, they're going to have something called Apple Home Kit on it, like a label, so that you can control it with the iOS 10. Is that something at all? Do you get mixed?
Yeah, I dig that a lot. It's something that they've already kind of been playing with, and so now I'm excited that they're kind of putting it more into public attention.
Yes, and then also with the iOS 10, we'll get new stickers, new animated stuff and video and graphics for messaging. So if you want to troll your friends or your parents with some motion graphics in messaging, you can do that. Dan, you'll have to send me some new stickers. Once we could try them out online.
Yeah, I don't think we. I'd have to send you all kinds of crazy. I'm sure we'll get some Ellen stickers and all kinds of silly stuff. So.
Toy Movie Game Bros in chat says, I'm wearing an iWatch. All right. Shouts to you. Angel says, I love Skylanders. Yes, I got that. Ramir says, Lego Dimensions. We got, the chat is just blowing up with.
They don't like seeing
phrases.
me without talking about like Lego and stuff. So
yes. Yeah, so trying to switch it up a little bit here, guys. I was just like, well, if I put up a video about Lego Dimensions or Skylanders, something like that today, the world is watching the Apple event, so I better watch it along with them and find out what was new and then just kind of convey our reactions in a fun way for you guys. So, all right, let's talk about the iPhone 7. Of course, a lot of leaks and information about this were already sort of out there floating around. So today was mostly a reason to tune in to see what was true, what was not true, and I feel like most of everything that was leaked was already true. So, Dan, what kind of iPhone do you have?
I have an iPhone 6 Plus.
Okay, I have the
6S. I have a 6S, not a 6 Plus is the bigger one. I have the 6S.
Okay, so that's from last year. I have the 6 from 2 years back, I guess, or so. So,
yeah, I guess it was last year. Yeah, it's the most. I have the most recent 6S.
So we got confirmation on the iPhone 7. They showed a video showcasing the iPhone 7. Phil was on stage. We got the new design, the new colors, jet black, gold, silver, rose gold, and regular black. So I think there's 4 or 5 new colors there to add to the mix. It looks like it's slim. What'd you think, Dan? They showed this big giant, like 2-3 minute long, like sizzle reel video showing the productions behind the scenes where they're taking phone cases and carving them in steel and
if you ask my wife what TV show I watch the most of on when I'm home and I'm just hanging out and have nothing to do, it will be marathons of How It's Made on the Science Channel. So I am a massive like How It's Made fan. So all those videos are just like candy to me. I love watching how they make these products and love seeing the factory and all that stylized shooting. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I wish I had video of that. I tried to kind of get this quickly, so I just have some screen grabs. But yeah, that was like a fun little like PBS special, like a little behind the scenes, and it's all just a reason to like go like, oh, that's why I'm paying $800 for this phone, because it's in this factory and it's getting like worn into shape and melted, perfectly so that it functions. And then the irony too, Dan, for me is all of that is great, but the first thing I do is I slap a case on my phone like day one, so I don't even get to see and appreciate a lot of what goes into like the skins, the outer shell.
Yeah, I have one of those fancy Apple battery cases, like the Apple official extending battery cases, and so I am I'm a fan of but I will often take it out so that I can just. But my phone always just feels so slim and tiny when I don't have it in a case. It always makes me a little nervous. So, who knows? I dig them, but you're right. Once they're in the case, you don't get to see much of the color or the design of them. You just get to see the front, either white or black. So.
Yeah. So, well, props to the developers for making them cool, but, we're covering them up with our things. Okay, so what they did with the iPhone 7 is they broke it down to 10 bullet points. So we'll go quickly through that, and I have some images of that. So the new design, of course, we're talking about the new design, the colors. The home button is redesigned with a force-sensitive solid-state, real-time feel, tactile feel. I think that's something we're going to need to feel in person. It's supposed to maybe mimic like the new trackpad, how it's got the the trackpad force maybe sensitivity or something.
Yep, the haptic feedback. Yep.
Haptic feedback there. So hard to form an opinion on that until you sort of feel that yourself. Of course, they talked about water and dust resistance. It's funny. I don't really think of dust as something I need to fight, but
it does. It can really affect. It affects a lot of people's phones. Actually, a lot more than you think. Particularly people who are in dusty situations, I guess. But their headphone jacks, lightning ports. Their cameras, particularly camera dust is a major problem with all mobile phones. And getting those artifacts on your image on your phone, because dust makes its way into the internal components of the phone and then can migrate all around the phone. So dust proof is a pretty big thing. I'm happy to see them do it.
Yeah, that's I'm all for that. So then Dan mentioned cameras. So that was the fourth thing they were bringing up, was the cameras. We got a wider lens, image stabilization, a new 12 megapixel sensor, which is the quality. The new flash puts out 50% more light. Now, the irony with the flash is I never use the flash at all, because the flash always makes pictures look grainy or weird or something like that. So if they're improving the flash, that's great. Dan, are you a flash user?
Yeah, so you have the iPhone 6, and so with the 6S, they dramatically improved the flash and made it a two-tone, made it a four-tone flash. Oh, actually, I take that back. It was a two-tone flash. You can't if you have an iPhone 6S and you look at it, you can see it's a with the iPhone 6S it was a two-tone flash. Now it's a four-tone flash, and it really makes a significant difference in taking photos with your flash because it does certainly make a difference.
Yeah, I'm showing the image here with the flash, the new flash there and stuff like that. It says flicker sensor. Phil, who was on stage, talked about how many of the operations of the camera, they talked about like the exposure and the focus, and how the iOS 10 is going to allow you to capture raw imaging, so that'll give you like a little higher quality image if you want to manipulate that in Photoshop or something like that. And then of course the front camera is improved to 7 megapixels. That was previously 5 for the selfies. Get the selfies there. Dan, do you have are you a selfie guy?
I like using the front-facing camera with my kids, so that they can take videos of them, to get make it easier, better angles. So I'm stoked. It might get to the point where I'll start using my phone as make cameras for my front-facing camera to make videos for my YouTube channel because it keeps getting better and better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's pretty great. I already use my phone to make a majority of my unboxing. Make a majority of my videos. I use my iPhone, so I don't have any special camera. Like I know you've got a special handheld camera with like a flip thing and all this kind of stuff, but I'm just using my phone because I like it. I think it takes really nice high quality videos. So I figure why carry more devices around with me when I'm trying to be cool and check out the convention scenes and such.
Yes, and I know you got some conventions coming up later in the year, so you'll have to see if you have the new phone in your hand, in your pocket. You'll have to try it out.
I'll have it. It's coming out when I'm going to be at Disney, so I'm a little bummed because you won't see me on CoinOpTV next week, folks, because I'll be in Disney World.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah, or maybe I'll have to. I guess I can still. We'll Skype live, and I'll be like wandering around like Tomorrowland or something like that, and we'll do like a quick little live chat from the parks.
Yes.
I'll still. You know what? Never mind. I'm still doing it. I'm still committing.
You're still committing. Just no selfie stick at the park though. We don't want to get you banned.
No. I got, but I have a special monopod for my 360 because lots of 360 videos come into my channel. But again, iPhone. Let's wrap it up with the iPhone. We're almost there.
All right,
we're almost home.
Quick shout outs to Heather and Stanley Cave and Mac Young. A couple people jumping in the live stream as well. Hopefully, you guys are excited about Apple stuff as we are too. So let's see. We got the Retina display. Was another thing that they sort of talked about. Oh, let's see. I jumped a gun here. Let's see. iPhone 7. So we got the iPhone. Let me get that image up. The iPhone 7 and then the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, the iPhone 7 Plus comes with 2 cameras with the wide-angle lens and the telephoto lens. So you kind of sort of mimic a zoom feature, sort of like a SLR camera. There's a little button that you can push on there to sort of zoom in, and then you can use the optical zoom to go even further. This is something I'll have to sort of see in the real world. It's kind of hard to tell on like a demo and a screen on the ability of that.
I think they often add features to the phones that a lot of normal people don't even really need, but and it can only be usable in certain situations, like that whole dual lens iPhone, the iPhone 7 Plus. Not a lot of people are gonna need it. They really aren't. But we'll see. We'll see if it's gonna be if it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, as far as zooming goes, I'm usually with my phone. I'm usually up close and personal. Like maybe if I'm at a red carpet or a toy event or something, I want to zoom in, or security's blocking me from getting access, like Comic-Con, where I had to like jump hoops to get into the Warner Brothers booth to get some photos for Dan. Maybe I could just zoom on in like that. So yeah, there'll be new software upgrades as well coming out that'll allow for like really a robust camera and photo system. So there's kind of a look at the body of the camera. So you get one camera lens on the iPhone 7 and then 2 on the iPhone 7 Plus. Looks like they both have the same flash. They didn't talk about that. So, okay, next up they talked about the Retina display and the color matching enhancements, how the screen was going to be a little brighter, and 3D touch Ian from Instagram came out and he showed some like cool new Instagram editing features, stuff like that. So we'll see when the Instagram update comes out. Bullet point number 6 was the audio and the stereo speakers. I don't know why, that just has me excited. I watch a lot of movies in bed, watching Netflix and YouTube videos when I'm just like laying in bed and I can't sleep. And so having stereo speakers, that's a plus for me. Is that hard?
Yeah, I'm super excited for better speakers, better sound, I'm excited to see that feature added, because I'm same boat with you. I watch a ton of YouTube videos, that kind of stuff. So getting that stereo in there is a lot of phones have already had this. So Apple was a little behind on this kind of stuff. So getting that that dual, which is what we had to sacrifice the headphone jack to get it, but I guess it's still cool.
I see Sprinkles Cat TV is in chat as well. Welcome to chat. All right, speaking of audio, so we've got the wireless and the Apple iPods. Is that what they called them there? Yeah,
AirPods.
AirPods, yes. So I'm looking at like 3 screens at once here. Okay, the Apple AirPods, which are these wireless earphones. That we're gonna, of course, if you didn't know, let me backtrack a bit. Of course, the analog jack is no longer there, so we're gonna have only the Lightning jack going to the phone. So something they're gonna promote is Bluetooth and wireless headsets and stuff. So I gotta say, Twitter and I agreed on this one that the design of these did not look all that handsome. I mean, it looks like a big giant toothpick sticking out of the person's ear. Especially the I don't know, like it just Dan, is this something you want to have sticking out of your ear here? These
I think there are a lot of better designs for the AirPod. A lot of better designs for wireless headphones out there than the AirPod. So I think it will be. It's not something, and they're also $160, so it's not something I think I'll be picking up at all. I'm really on the fence about their plans for what they're doing here without the headphone jack. Mostly, my biggest concern actually is, in fact, the Bluetooth audio aspect of video watching. Is that I often get heavy delays on audio while watching videos using Bluetooth. So even it's like maybe a half second or 1 second, but it makes watching YouTube, Hulu, Netflix like almost impossible. It makes it maddening. So I'm not thrilled that I'm going to have to deal with that while I'm watching stuff on my phone. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they address it.
Yeah, hopefully that they've tweaked that enough. So the big question for me going into today's event was, okay, so now you're going to take away the analog jack for the headphones. Are you going to package a lightning cable adapter in there? So we got confirmation of that. Here's a picture of the lightning adapter for the headphone jack. So I see Robert the Blastmind says in chat that he can never go to school without listening to music on his iPhone. So if you still have, if you're still going to hold on to the old analog technology, there will be a lightning adapter bundled with the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. For me, this was a huge benefit, a huge bonus, because when you buy ancillary products for Apple, they're always like $30, $40, $50. So I feel like, okay, this could have easily been a $50 product, and having it bundled together with the packaging is a big plus.
And luckily, that product's already out there. So, we won't. Hopefully the price won't go crazy, because that product is already out there. The lightning to audio jack, it's already available. So and a lot of actually the microphone that both Rob and I use, the pro version, like the fancier version of this one, actually has a lightning adapter that goes with it. So it's already out there and people are already using it. So the MacBook I have right now doesn't have a CD drive. If you would have told me one day that there were going to be laptops without CD drives, I would have thought you were crazy. So I'm interested to see how the market responds to this. But it's a technology we've had for a long time. So Apple is it's interesting to see how the community at large will respond to this, because people are going to buy it, but they're probably not going to be happy about it. Because people just keep buying Apple products, whether they like it or not. I personally have like 4 sets of Bluetooth earbuds and headphones, and I've got a whole bunch of Bluetooth speakers in my house. So I'm not super, it's not a major. The only thing that really bums me out about it is the video audio playback. So we'll see what they do with it.
Yes, yes. A lot of these things, we're gonna have to go to the Apple Store and get our hands on. So, bullet point number 9: Apple Pay improvements. I don't really use Apple Pay at all, so we'll just go on to number 10: performance. They claim that the iPhone 7 will be faster. They got a new chip, the A10 Fusion, multi-core performance, maximized performance, and battery life. I tweeted on my personal account. I was like, yes, finally, 90 minutes in, and they're going to address battery life. My biggest complaint with the iPhone, being an iPhone person, is battery life. So now we're going to get some improvements to that, and the performance with the A10 Fusion chip there. He actually said longest battery life ever on an iPhone. I wrote that down in my little bullet points there. Expect, if you're upgrading from last year, expect maybe about 2 hours. If you're upgrading from a couple years back, maybe 3 or 4 hours, depending on how far back you're going. So let's get to the overview here. Image. So pricing: iPhone 7 is $649. Which works out to be about like $27 a month, if you're going on the monthly lease, which is kind of the new thing now. The iPhone 7 Plus they had at $749, which will be $32 a month. Pre-order starts September 9th, and it's supposed
This Friday. Yep.
Yeah, this Friday. Wow, it's right around the corner. And then supposed to be available or shipping September 16th, 2016, and then iOS 10 is supposed to be out September 13th. Am I missing anything? Of course, Sia. I don't have any graphics or images of Sia. Closed out the show. That was fun. Here's the new sizes. Also, Dan, what do you make of the new sizes? Gone is 16 gig.
Very happy about this. Very, very happy about this. This has been a complaint from the community for a good long time, and I'm very happy that they made this. I mean, I have the big one. I what is it? 161. What's the current size? I have the over 100 gig one, and I fill it up pretty quickly, particularly with all the pictures I'm taking, I'm saving. I'm sure, Rob, you're in the same boat because you take a ton of photos when you're out and about for content for your site. With the videos and the apps so I will of course be buying the largest size available because I use it a lot, and I think it's really, really great that they bumped that up.
Just want to remind everybody, if you're trolling and spamming in chat, you may get a timeout. You've been warned, shall we say. Okay, so yes, I'm excited for the 32. Well, I have a 32 gig now, so I'll probably stick with the... gosh, no, wait, I think I have a 64 now. Now I'm getting kind of confused on my size of my iPhone looking ahead. So probably maybe jump up to the 128, size with the phone there. And, because I capture a lot of video also on my phone, so music. So cool. Dan, am I missing anything else at all that was like a big giant bullet point from today's Apple experience?
No, I'm. It was a pretty great. The only gripe I have about it is the audio jack, and the internet all completely kind of agrees with me. And it's not. I don't want to beat a dead horse by constantly going back to it, but otherwise, I'm pretty impressed with it, and I like the new jet black. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on.
Awesome. Well, thanks a bunch, all you guys and gals, for tuning in. I'm sure, talking about Apple stuff is maybe new for some of you guys. Maybe you don't even have an iPhone or an Apple Watch or Apple TV or something like that. But, Christmas is just around the corner. Maybe you want to, put some of this gadgets and this tech stuff on your Christmas wish list. Or maybe you're just like an Android person and you're just like, screw all this Apple stuff. What I'm going to do also, a little shortly after this, I'm actually going to do a live stream talking about the PlayStation press conference that also went on today. So if you're a CoinOpTV subscriber, or you want to know a little bit more about gaming and PlayStation, I'm going to do a little quick live stream recapping of that. So I guess that's it for me and Dan. Make sure you check out his Toys to Life and his Disney Cheats and Bricks to Life on Twitter. I'm sorry, Bricks to Life is his website, and all of his things. I'll put his information in the description below. There's a lot of information. Sorry, Dan, if I'm not very specific with everything. It's just like a lot to absorb in like 5 hours that have happened this morning. So
I know it's been a marathon of new stuff.
Yes. So cool. All right. Well, hey, all you guys, give yourself a Portal Master rank up. Even though we're talking about Skylanders, but thanks a bunch for watching. We'll see you guys in the next live stream.